So if if you see the title, then you kind of know what this live is going to be about. Um, there's a pattern forming that if you point out the pattern, you'll be called either homophobic or you'll be called racist, which makes it extremely a very strategic move to use certain groups that are beyond criticism to push an agenda. Um, I do want to reflect on the expose last night from Project Veritas. I've been donating to them for the past couple of years. They get an automatic donation monthly because I appreciate their work. Journalism is a lost art, and I think one of the last of them are going to be Project Veritas. Well, until now, there are going to be more of us amateur journalists. I mean, what is a professional fucking journalist anyway? I mean, it's, you're a professional if you say you're a professional. Just like how someone with no medical degree can get online and give you medical advice, like the president telling you to go take an injection. He's not a doctor. How the fuck would he know? I wouldn't listen to Biden. I wouldn't listen to Trump. I mean, how the fuck would either of them know? And then when you start to find out that doctors have to be coerced into saying certain things, well, then you can't trust them either. I know Tim Pool says very often to, go talk to a doctor. And if your doctor doesn't say the right thing, get another doctor. So it's like, okay, so you keep going until somebody validates what you already think. Excuse me, that doesn't seem like a very good strategy, especially when none of these people can explain to you how any of the stuff works in the first place. So certain situations are going to be corrupt, so you can't trust them anyway. But Project Veritas, they caught another person in a honey trap. This person was an executive at Pfizer, but apparently they're 2 levels below the CEO. This person has a degree. They didn't seem very articulate or very smart, but they were obviously 2 things. They were a part of the Black community, and they were also a part of the LGTQP elemental community as well. So what we're going to talk about is why this person felt so comfortable describing what could potentially be extremely deadly to millions or billions of people worldwide, why his moral compass did not navigate him away from wanting to be involved in that type of research, and why he felt so comfortable describing a way to kind of basically euthanize his own species. Why? Well, let's see here. I don't know if any of you guys even know. Some of you might not know any Black people or know any gay people. But those 2 communities are not fans of America. The reason they're not fans of America, for one, is if you talk to a Black person, they'll tell you that they feel the country is racist and it's built on white supremacy. And they want to dismantle white supremacy. But that's not the truth. What they really mean is that straight white men enforce the law. And they don't like the law. They don't like law enforcement. They don't like rules. And if you look at the pattern, they want to be able to commit crimes and commit murders and robbery, but they do not want to be shot or they don't want to be stopped, and they don't want to be arrested or prosecuted for committing crimes. If you look at a gay person who, and not all, I'm not saying all of them, but a very high percentage of them have this thing about children. They like kids. And there are straight people that like kids too, but one thing they both have in common is that the only person who's going to enforce a law against pedophiles or child grooming or child rape or child sodomy, it's going to be a straight white man who is going to come and enforce these laws. There's no other races of people lining up to join law enforcement to go and enforce certain laws. Yeah, you have sprinkles from the Latin community, Black community here and there, but overall, for the most part, it's straight white men who are going to enforce laws. And if you look at who is technically, according to the media, and who's being propped up to be public enemy number one right now in our society, straight white men are on the chopping block. Because straight white men they will enforce these laws. So last night, the man is telling another person who he assumes is gay when he's on a date about basically it boils down to enhancing a virus to make it more deadly, which is gain of function. Now, I'll be one of the first people to tell you that viruses in themselves are a conspiracy theory. Being able to transfer sickness between humans is also theoretical. It's never been proven. They've tried for 100 years to show an exact experiment where you were able to transmit a sickness from one human to another by using bodily fluids, by coughing and spitting in their face and all those different things. They've tried it. They can never do it. So viruses themselves are theoretical. And when you're talking to this guy who's apparently 2 levels below the CEO, he's like, he's still hypothesizing about a lab leak. But remember, even if there was now I'm just basing this off of, what the commonly assumed narrative is. But the truth is, it is theoretical, being able to transfer sickness between people, and even the existence of viruses themselves. It's all theory. It's not a fact. It's not a proven fact. So this person is describing gain of function research to someone else. And that's all. If you work in a company that high up, that's doing something that immoral and illegal, that is like top secret information. But this person, the reason he feels comfortable disclosing the fact that he is doing something that is a complete threat to humanity is because he assumes the other person, who is also apparently gay, shares that level of disdain for humanity that he does. So when I ask which community hates America more, or which community might have its biggest grievances with the structure of the United States, it would appear to be a close tie between the Black community and the gay community. I say this to say is that, how did that man get that position that high up in Pfizer? He doesn't seem to be overqualified or extremely smart. He doesn't. And he said he's not a. He said he worked for a consulting firm, and he's not a doctor or a scientist. So how did he get that position? The body cam footage of the white cop from the Pelosi thing. Well, anyway, we'll get to that too. The reason, where was I at? He's hoping that the person on the other end shares his disdain for humanity or for society, and he doesn't feel that what he's doing is wrong. See, in the current society we have, certain people will be sent to prison. They're trying to change that structure, which it's kind of going their way. There are some hiccups, but they've gone too far to stop what they're doing. And also, there's no reverse button. It's only forward or nothing. So yes, the injections, if you took it and if you gave it to your child, you're going to have to give your child puberty blockers and remove their testicles to keep their testosterone levels from raising up when they go through puberty, because if that happens, the creature will grow and it will likely kill them rather fast. At least if you remove the testicles and you take estrogen pills, you won't have to transition you're going to have to, if you do those things, you're going to have to transition your child, but they will live longer. Hey, stop it. They'll live longer. So we're going into a future where the structure of society is going to change, and the man that's in that video, those are going to be the men in charge. These teachers who are pushing this agenda on these children are going to be the ones in charge. They're the next generation. They're preparing you for a future where being a heterosexual man is not going to be an option for the most part, because you're going to have to remove your testicles and go through the process of transitioning just to stay alive in the first place. And I think that's what they're banking on, is that there won't be certain men around to hold them accountable for their crimes. That's why they talk with so much confidence, and that's why they're not afraid to go on a date and tell a stranger that they're doing something that's literally a crime against humanity. If you, for example, if you talk to a black person and you ask them, do you want revenge against white people for slavery? It's like a 90 something percent of them will tell you yes. And what does that look like? See, no one wants to ask these hard questions because it's a really scary reality when you think about it. Why does the Chinese Communist Party fund movies in Hollywood that make movies and shows about slavery, movies and shows that flop? But why do they keep doing it? It's because they want to keep this community, the black community, they want to keep them in a state of fear, anxiety, anger, hatred, but they're not leaving them in that space for no reason. It's like a form of, it's limbo. They have you there for a reason, and it's because not soon before long, they're already merging these two communities to be a army. I call it the BlaQue army, the Black Army. And the muscle, the infantry, the ones who are going to be on the front line, the ones with the size are going to be the black community, but the weaker ones who have a higher capacity for strategy, the thinkers, are going to be the members of the LGTQP community. So those are going to be the generals, the lieutenants, the sergeants over the Black Army foot soldiers. And that's why now you'll see a gay man like Anderson Cooper, and he'll get on TV and he'll tell Black Army infantry that are on the front lines who to attack. He'll tell you who's the enemy, when to be outraged, when to be mad, when to be angry, when something is a problem. And that's why you don't really see those communities protest or make a big scene unless someone from the LGBTQP community tells them to. If you look at Black Lives Matter, for example, who are the front-facing female leaders? Well, there's 3 lesbian black women. See, what I'm saying, it might sound crazy initially until you actually think about it and you look for the evidence. It's all there. One community is merging with another, and there's a power structure within there. You're going to have to look out for these people across the board in all of our industries because they're there to commit sabotage. What he's doing, of this research that he's helping doing, the reason they moved him up there is because he does check the box. He's black, who is disgruntled against America, and he's gay, which is disgruntled against humanity. Not all of them, but many of them do share a high disdain for humanity and for our structure here in the United States. So if you check those 2 boxes, then you're going to be less likely to have a problem with doing certain types of research, knowing that it can literally kill millions of people or harm a lot of people. You're not going to mind. So, because everybody's wondering, like, how did he even get that position? Well, that's how. He fits the type of person who does not like the country or does not like humanity. When you're looking at somebody who grounded all the flights from the FAA, they wanted to diversify the skies. What does that mean? Well, we want to hire more blacks and gays, not based off of their experience or how qualified they are, but based off of their appearance and their sexuality. Why the fuck does that matter? It's because when you're doing things and you have an agenda and you want to commit sabotage and you want to do things that are openly wrong, that are going to harm the country, you're going to need people who are going to go along with it, who also share those same goals. So they have to recruit those type of people. So when you see these people with the colored hair working at a place that deals with the water treatment system for your country, or these big lesbian people, certain people working in around the food industry. Now they're saying there's all these flus, they got to shut down the factories, somebody damaged the equipment. You got a lot of different people that are in different positions that were diversity new hires that are Trojan horses that are there because they share a common disdain for American society and humanity. So that's why he fit the bill perfectly for someone to be working at Pfizer, knowing what they're doing. We'll be back on shortly. I just wanted to make a less than 15-minute video.